I just want to do a video on a quick tip on how to get medical information much more quickly than you ordinarily would be able to. Lots of people are going to need medical information during the course of homelessness applications and also Part 6 housing register applications. And certainly within Part 7 you might be relevant around homelessness if, for example, you're experiencing breathing difficulties and you've got bad damp problems, or you're now a wheelchair user and you can't get up the stairs to get to the bathroom or whatever, so in which case it might not be reasonable to continue to occupy your accommodation and therefore you're homeless. Or it might be obviously relevant with priority need if you're going through vulnerability, might be a medical condition or a disability or some kind of thing related to that would be relevant. And also doctors can often have records that relate to other social issues going on in your life, so it can again be maybe evidence of domestic abuse that you reported to them or something like that. And it can also actually be relevant with intentional homelessness. So for example, if you had fluctuating mental capacity and then you lost your accommodation as a result of that, then again that would be really good evidence. Now ordinarily, or certainly up until now, you'd have to go and request that information specifically, and you're then at the whims of the doctors whether they're actually going to give you the information you need, how long it's going to take and so on. Whereas actually if you use the NHS app just on a smartphone or whatever, you basically download the app, and if I understand it correctly you then need to go to the doctor's surgery in person just to get them to activate it. But once you're on it, if I just show you the video here, basically you've got access to a whole wealth of information. You've got records, you've got appointments you've attended, you've got potentially specialist letters that have come from hospital departments and so on. It's all at your fingertips. I think the only places where you can't get information would be around hospital departments that aren't signed up to this yet, but it seems, as far as I can tell, that you can get pretty much all of your documents straight away. You can then screenshot it to councils if as requested. And it's important to say here that it is very much the council's job to make inquiries from your GP, but ultimately, as I've said in other videos, often that just means them requesting a copy of the patient summary rather than actually getting the evidence they need to really consider your application properly. But this actually would give you so much more information than you're going to get through the doctor. And as I say, often it's not worth arguing with the council. If they're telling you to go and get information and you've got it on your phone to hand and you can just screenshot it over to them, then that's a win-win situation. It's not always going to give the level of information you need around priority needs. So for example, the whole definition of vulnerability is around your ability to deal with the effects of homelessness compared to an ordinary healthy and robust person, and ultimately for that you're really going to need your GP to answer that question specifically, because it's unlikely to be in the notes that are just generally on the system. Then ultimately that's not their job to be looking at that unless they're asked. But certainly, as you can see from the screen there, from the video, there is a whole bunch of stuff you can get, and that is going to be relevant. It's going to just be an easy way of getting that information, and ultimately it's free to do. So as I say, just hopefully a little tip, keep the questions coming in the YouTube comment section. I'm hoping this stuff helps you out. You've got any questions about the app, I will try and get my colleague to answer them, because she knows more than I do about it. But yeah, hopefully it helps. If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and feel free to share it with other people that you know might be interested or might need this information right now. As I say, it's designed really just to help people who are currently homeless, and also professionals involved with people in that situation.